Artillery is arguably one of the most important units in this game. The damage that they can inflict on the enemy is truly monumental, and so the enemy will try to destroy them if you let them. In this case, blue is threatening to attack red's howitzers on the hill. However, red has sufficient cavalry force in the nearby. So, as you will see, as blue kind of approaches, red will mobilize his cavalry, protecting the flank from blue's advance. And just like that, in this situation, it wasn't necessary to allocate any more resources to defending the artillery. And by the way, this game was played between the #1 player and one of the top tier players. But so, when do you have to allocate special resources to defending your artillery? Well, there is actually a quite broadly used tactic called garrisoning, which means that you would detach a small part of your army to defend your cannons. But it's really important to learn how to use it properly. For example, in this game that I played, the enemy is trying to attack my cannons with their infantry. And I have some very exposed cannons like howitzers over here. As you can see, there isn't really anything stopping them in their way. But luckily enough, I have these garrisons right behind the cannons that I'm able to mobilize in a second's notice. So if I set a time over here, then you can see how my infantry stop the enemy infantry just in time. And then, because I haven't withdrawn my cannons, they're actually able to damage the enemy in the meanwhile. Plus I also mobilized my cavalry over here, so now he's getting flanked out of hell. And sure enough, if we let this play out, he is just getting destroyed on the left flank. And the battle is lost at this point for him. But even top players miss the timing on the garrisoning sometimes, because exposing my cannons requires a lot of confidence that I would be able to get there with my infantry just in time. And surely enough, in this battle played between the #1 player and another top player, red's cannons are really exposed, but the infantry is in the nearby to come in and help them. However, if we start the battle, we can see that over here in the middle, red's infantry was a second too late and their cannon got destroyed. So timing is truly essential, and if you get this wrong, that could end the battle there. Now you can practice timing by either just playing a lot of games or by playing with friends. Or actually, I have made a few training maps that are basically only made to let you get used to the timing for the garrisoning. So for example, in this scenario we have some artillery and a small amount of infantry against a much larger infantry force, but it's AI, so it's not going to be that hard. Against a player you would need a larger garrison force, but this scenario is really just practicing out the exact timing that you would need to pull this off. I also made a different one, which is specialized against cavalry. Now you have a bit more infantry in your garrison, but you're also facing some really strong cavalry on the enemy side. So yeah, these are useful for practice, but I would still recommend playing with a friend or just playing battles in general. But if you can, then this might be fine as well. And so often in garrisoning, you are working with a numerically inferior force against a much larger force, but you kinda twist and turn the battle conditions to give you a significant advantage. And so based on that idea, I actually made a pretty fun map over here. It is based on a historical battle fought in the 1600s. But overall, red has a much larger numerical advantage. However, blue has a much better position. But with each side you kinda play for a different plan. So as for blue, you would like to very quickly overrun the frontier cavalry and then try to defeat the enemy in detail. while as red he would like to pull back a bit, regroup with at least the main core of your army, and then also flank him and try to do some other shenanigans. And the whole map is kept in balance by the single fact that red has to either defend or recapture this point if they don't want to like lose all of their org. Meanwhile, blue can really just like chill and sit out because these will never get taken, unlikely. And yeah, you could technically use it to like train some tactics along with the other maps against the cavalry and against the infantry. But never forget that you need to get the garrisoning timing right, otherwise you could lose your cannons like in this situation.